Hi everybody, I just saw Hacksaw Ridge, which is a movie based off a true story, which is Andrew Garfield's latest movie. Yes, the same exact guy who was once in Social Network. Just like in this movie, he plays an actual person, but I actually like this person, like the one in Social Network. And Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah. I know this movie's not the reason why he left the Mighty Spider-Man movies, but kind of wish it was. Because he did great in it. It's like he did great playing Desmond Doss. Um, and Hugo Wavy did a great job playing his dad, um, Thomas Doss. So the it takes place during World War II, and he doesn't want to. He wants to join the army, but he does not want to have to kill because he believes in not killing because he's a Christian boy and that's one of the Ten Commandments. Yet he wants to still go. So before I go any further, for people who have not seen the movie yet, since it's still released on DVD and stuff like that, um, I'm gonna give it a um 10 out of 10. Come here, Sully. Come on, jump. Okay, here he is, guys. He up on his own accord this time. He gives it or for pause and his tail. So, spoiler warning for people who have not seen the movie yet. Um, the reason why besides his entire belief in God and stuff like that, his reason why said he would never pick up a gun is because he has almost killed his dad and his brother on separate occasions. When he was a little bitty kid, him and his brother liked to roughhouse and be crazy little kids like a lot of kids are. But since their dad was a drunk, since he didn't do so well, and I think he served during World War I. I have I think that's what it was. Because a lot of, when they showed the graves of his fellow soldiers, it said 1918 and stuff like that. So I'm guessing it's World War I that he served in. But he didn't. He kind of went drunk because he missed his friends. He pretty much almost regrets serving and stuff like that. Um, so he's trying to. Well, what about them when he drinks? So they're a little wild too. They like at the beginning of the movie, we see them climbing up a mountain, and they're like standing right near the edge, like going, "Ah!" And but when they get back down, and when Hugo Weaving comes back from seeing his friends at the grave, his seeing the graves of his friends, he sees his kids roughhousing, and they the mom didn't like what their mom wasn't like what they were doing. She thinks they're getting too rough, but he didn't. He wanted to continue on fighting. Um, but Rebecca Doss, his wife, who is played by um Griever? Griever, I think. Well, I can put her name right here since I can't pronounce it right. But the mom tried to stop them from fighting, but before she could, she was trying to get down there in time. But um, Desmond hit his brother with the brick really hard, and at first his parents both think he actually killed him. But so they brought him in and tried to take care of the brother, but they found out that he just knocked him, gave him a concussion and a cut. So, but the dad, there was like no sound during this time, and you see him like coming towards the Ten Commandments, and he like looks at "Thou shall not kill," and it's like no sound, but we like slowly hear his father with a belt like, "I'm gonna have to beat ya, boy." And the mom says, "No, he's already gone for enough. You just want to teach him where the world's so soft." So then we like see them go growing up. We see him all grow up. His brother enlists first. Um, he wants to be a soldier. The dad doesn't like it because he thinks that he's just gonna lose his son and never see him again and stuff like that. Like he lost his friends. But he like then Desmond meets a girl after he like helped a person who like got hit by a tractor. Um, was underneath a tractor. He like helped them up and like used his belt to tie around the cut to stop the bleeding, and got them to the hospital. And the doctor says you pretty much saved this guy's life. That's where he met the girl that he ends up marrying. Um, so he pretty much tries to get her affection until he gets there and actually they actually try to get married. But he tells her, "I'm gonna go and join the army, but I'm not gonna be a soldier. I'm gonna be a medic." And she was a little mad at first, like a lot of people would be, but she was okay with it. Um, so when he went to join the army, everybody thought at the army he was there to be an actual soldier because they made him when they all went to pick up guns. Um, he was the only one to go pick up one, and then the officer asked him, "Why didn't you go and pick up a gun?" Officer Cornfield, because he was from a farm, um, he said, I, "I'm here to be a medic, and I also don't believe in murder because of the fifth commandment, because of the sixth commandment." So they take him to like the one of the lead people at the army, and the whole entire rest of the time that they're there, they're trying to get him to leave because he's not he's able to protect everybody else because he won't pick up a gun. They beat him like when the one time he's sleeping they beat him up, even though and they like pick up his bed up and when they find out that he was got beaten, he his commanding officer offered to walk him down and said there's no shame in leaving. He says, "I'm not leaving." He even asked him, "Who did this to you?" And he did not rat them out. He just says, I'm a very hard sleeper." So eventually, when they're about to start signing them up and say they passed boot camp, he was not going to pass because he did not pass all his training. He did not learn how to use a gun. So they were gonna ask him to use a gun, and if he didn't use it, they would send him to prison, the army type of prison, for disobeying orders. Um, and he still wouldn't do it. So when he was supposed to marry his girl, he got put into prison and not shown up to um, the wedding. So she found out later because he was like sitting in jail waiting for the trial to happen. His commanding officer brought in her, and she just said, just pick up the gun. You don't have to use it. Just pick it up. And the dad, she told the dad before she came and what was going on, and he finally puckered up and decided, okay, I'm gonna help my son, even if it means I have to face my fears, and put on that my old army uniform again. And so he did, and when talked to him, one of his old ones that actually survived the World War One, and we didn't see the conversation, but he basically told one of the people who actually survived that he knew, um, that the situation, and he got a letter from him to allow him not to be punished for disobeying orders. And he came to go during the court of them deciding. Um, Dawson was supposed to say, "I'm guilty," so he can be let go. But when he got in the room, he said, "I'm not guilty." And all that's going. Then his dad comes in the room, and they said, "You're not being here since you have been discharged," basically, stuff like that, or something like that. And but he allowed him to stay. He gave the judge there the letter, and he reads it, and he tells them that he is not being charged for what he was doing because it's what he believes. So he was able to go for boot camp without having learn how to use a gun like he wanted to. He wanted to go there to be a medic. And I respect that because, like him, I don't believe in killing at all. I'm afraid to pick up a gun too for the same exact reason. Um, I'm not against guns, but I'm against me using a gun for that reason. Um, so I can relate to him a lot more than a lot more than Peter Parker and the guy who plays in Social Network. So let's go back to this. So they get shipped off to, I think, Japan or Germany, because I think it's Germany, even though they're fighting against um, Japanese, but they have to go up a hill called Hacksaw Ridge, which is why that's why the movie's called that, to have it gain it in the war. And he meets another medic, but the other medic has a gun, and he doesn't ask him why doesn't have a gun, and still everybody still thinks he is a coward because he won't pick up a gun. So, and when they go up there, he's running around after somebody gets hurt. He goes around and helps, takes his friends back to go and get healed. The whole entire time while there's bombing and shooting and stuff like that. And some of them do seem grateful. And he got them. That's the first battle when they actually when they think they win. And So after the first battle, him and his medic friend has to stand guard. They're right by each other. He has a dream that they get attacked by more Japanese. But when he wakes up, because he was supposed to sleep, and his friend was just to, like take turns standing guard, stuff like that. And his friend was going to take the first turn standing guard. And so that's what happened right there. So when they woke up and found that the Japanese were still, or some of the Japanese were still there, and they had to battle, they had to end up retreating because they were overrun, and a lot of them went down, leaving the dead. But he stayed up there because even before he helped out a guy who lost his legs, and his medic friend said he would not survive, leave him. Just gave him something to help with the pain and help it make it easier for when he dies. This was during the first battle. He says, "No, we're gonna try and help him." So, back to where I was talking. They're like leaving people up there that were too injured and just left them. Like, so what happened to about people? No men left behind. They don't say that in the movie, but I know the army, and if you're not supposed to leave no man left behind, because I have seen a bunch of army movies, and I have some people in my family who are part of who have served. So I know, like my dad and my great grandfather, and so I know that you're not supposed to leave your no man left behind. So the whole entire time I'm pretty much saying, no man left behind, guys, come on. And so he, whenever this is going down, he stayed up there. He asked God, help me decide what I should do. And God helped him understand that he has to stay up there and help all the injured men and everybody else who got left up there. So every time he found somebody and takes them back to the hill, he would tie a knot that had 2 holes in it to help them carry them to lower them down. And he like helped out at least about 70 people, maybe a little bit more, um down by doing the same exact thing. Even his commanding officer was left up there by one of by Hollywood, who they called, and he helped them both get down. To many officers said, because he called basically, since there's 2 knots, he called it a boob knot, but it worked. The boob knot worked. It got everybody down. Not everybody survived. Not everybody was able to survive after he got them down and treated, but he got them down. And the whole entire time he's up there, he's making himself exhausted, going, and sometimes the Japanese see him, but they always miss him. Um, but when it came time, he got one last person down there, and he was, after his commanding officer, he came down with them, and then the Japanese saw him right at the very last minute. They were shooting at him, so the other officers came and started shooting. When he was before then, he was trying to command officer. He grabbed his gun and like says, "This is no time for training," but he like used the gun to tie it up around a blanket, so he could use the gun to drag his commanding officer. So, but his commanding officer still had his gun. So while he's dragging him, his commanding officer's defending him, so he's able to continue doing it without him getting hurt, because since the Japanese were chasing him. He was the second to last one to leave that he saved. So after they got him down, they checked to see, are you injured? Says no. He didn't say he was exhausted, but he was pretty much spent up there. He was because he had to carry so many men back down there and use pretty much all his strength. For a while, I thought he was gonna die from doing so much work. Because that carrying that many men down from that big a hill had to be using a lot of your strength. But he got himself back down there, and but he was they healed him, but they went back up there to go and get to to go and get the thing back. But he got shot while he was up there this time. And this time, his friends helped him down and made sure he got help. Because now this time around, they no longer think he's a coward since he was the only one up there saving everybody. So they no longer think he's a coward. So they were even call him Private Doss. Even they made him to a private again. And when they got called on the radio, like, who's Private Doss? So after when he got hurt, he was again lowered down for the hill again. This time him. And that's where the movie ended, and we get to see the actual soldiers. Like, they tell us what happens and how many people he saved. And him and his wife were married until 1991. She died first. Then we actually get to see him talking for a little while. I thought he was actually still kicking, which I thought was really, because not many people who served in World War II, that's how long ago it was, are still alive. But he's told like how it actually was, and his brother was talking to, and I think his commanding officer was too, or one of them. And at the very end of that conversation, it said he died in 2006. So he's not still kicking like I thought he wouldn't be. So I really loved it. I think Andrew Garfield did a really great job. This one so far I think is his best work because he was playing a real person just like he was in Social Network. But like I told you, I like Desmond Doss. But with Amazing Spider-Man, he played a superhero. But no matter how much I love Peter Parker, he is a fictional character. And I think Desmond Doss is an actual superhero because he actually had the guts to stay up there. He may not have those superpowers, but he's pretty much like he stayed up there even and helped out all those people. He even helped some Japanese, but they said they didn't make it. So but because that's what medics do, they treat both sides. They're neutral basically. They're supposed to be neutral. They're supposed to treat both sides. So and that's what he was when he didn't. So at least he was helping, he was treating both sides. I didn't see him lower down him down, but he said one of the officers there said that he did lower down a Japanese, but it didn't survive. So that's why I gave the movie 10 out of 10. Yeah. So guys, go and see it. I think it's out on DVD right now, so hopefully you guys can go and watch it. Okay. And so I want to add one more thing. So basically, this is a little joke. So he went up there without using a gun, or using his webs. I know when he's Desmond Doss, he doesn't have webs, but I will still think him as Peter Parker. Okay, bye everybody.